Hello all. Let's focus on sound today. Chapter 11, Science Book of 9th Standard. This chapter contains the following topics: production of sound, propagation of sound, reflection of sound, range of hearing, applications of ultrasound, and the structure of human ear. Open your ears. Our world is filled with a symphony of sounds from various sources. Humans, birds, machines, vehicles, and even everyday objects like bells and radios, they contribute to the sonic landscape. Then, what exactly is this sound? Let's dive into the science behind this fascinating phenomena, the sound. Time for some activities now. Let's explore sound vibrations with a tuning fork. Take a tuning fork, strike it on the rubber band to set it vibrating. Now you see that it's vibrating now. See the refer to the image. Okay. Bring the vibrating tuning fork near your ear. What do you hear? Gently touch one of the prongs of the vibrating tuning fork with your finger. What happened to the sound? Share your observations with your classmates. Then third one. Suspend the table tennis ball from a thread as shown in the picture. Touch the ball lightly with a prong of the vibrating tuning fork. Observe what happens to the ball. Discuss your observations with your friends. Now, some of the points to ponder here are: what happens to the tuning fork when you strike it? What happens? It starts vibrating, correct? How does the vibration of the tuning fork create sound? See, not just vibrating, it also created the sound. Then question is, how does the vibration of the tuning fork created the sound? Think about it. Third one. What happens to the sound when you touch the tuning fork with your finger? What happened? It increased, it decreased, it died. What happened to the sound when you touch the sound? Touch the tuning fork with your finger. Then, and you remember this ball, right? How does the ball respond to the vibrations of the tuning fork? Okay, it kept on going for left and right and left and right. What happened to the ball? How did it responded to the vibrating fork? Think about all these things. Okay, let's continue with the activity. Let's take our sound exploration a step further with water. Okay, again instructions. You have a vibrating tuning fork. That is one part. The second part, fill a beaker or glass with a water to the brim. So you can see the image. Okay, fill a beaker or a glass with water to the brim. Now gently touch the water surface with one of the prongs of the vibrating tuning fork. Observe what happens to the water, remember. Okay, even to the prong. Now carefully dip the prongs of the vibrating tuning fork into the water. Observe what happens in comparison to the first step. First time the vibrating tuning fork's prong touched the surface. In the second case, the vibrating tuning fork's prongs dipped inside the water. Observe the differences in the behavior. Discuss with your friends why different results occur in each case. Some of the points to ponder, after this activity, right? What do you see happening to the water surface when you touch it with the vibrating tuning fork? For example, the first case. Then, what about when you submerge the prongs? Why might the ripples be different? Why the ripples are different in the second case compared to the first case? Think about it. Okay. How does this activity relate to your observations? With the table tennis ball in the previous time, we did the activity 1, right? How does this activity relate to your observations with the table tennis experiment? Table tennis ball being hit to the vibrating tuning fork. Okay, could sound be traveling through the water as well as through the air? Think about it. Is it possible for the sound to be able to travel through the water in a way it is traveled through the air? Okay, some of the questions to think and discuss with your friends. Let's try to unveil the secrets of the sound. Okay, from our experiments and observations, what can you conclude about sound? What can we conclude about the sound? Can we produce sound without a vibrating object? Can we produce? Think about it. All right, some of the points to understand, okay, the continuation to answer those questions, right? In all those activities we created sound by setting objects in motion, and this movement is called vibration. Okay, vibrating objects create disturbances in the surrounding air, causing tiny air molecules to bump into each other in a wave-like fashion. These sound waves travel through the air and reach our ears, creating the sensation of hearing. We can produce sound through various actions like striking, plucking, scratching, rubbing, blowing, shaking objects, ultimately causing them to vibrate. See, this is a way to create sound. Okay, at the end of the day, cause the objects to vibrate, and that in turn creates the sound. Some of the examples, first thing, the human voice is the best example, right? Our vocal cords vibrate as we speak. Where are our vocal cords? In our neck, just above our windpipe. Neck, think it's a sound box there. Okay, our vocal cords vibrate as we speak. Of course, the sound comes out of our mind, our mouth, but the vocal cords or sound box somewhere lies around the neck or above the windpipe. Okay, the okay, so our vocal cords vibrate as we speak, producing distinct sound waves of different words. Okay, bird wings, for example. Next one, the bird wings, right? Flapping wings create air disturbances, generating the chirping sound we hear. Bees, for example, the rapid movement of the wings create the buzzing sound. The rapid movement of their wings create the buzzing sound. Just imagine a small mosquito or something, some small, the bees troubling you in the night during sleep. Okay, rubber bands. A boy, just imagine a boy, uh, doing that activity. The plucking a stretched rubber band sets a vibrating, producing a sharp sound. Okay, now what are the key takeaways from these activities? The vibrations are the essential ingredients of sound production. For sound production, what is the one? Vibrations are the essential ingredient for sound production. No matter the method, at its core, sound originates from an object's back and forth movement. Sound originate from an object's back and forth movement. These are the two key takeaways from our activities. It's time for a small work activity or a homework, you can consider it as, to do at your home with your friends or parents. Okay, what is your activity is? The activity is, make a list of different types of musical instruments that you find in your home or in your surroundings or in your village. Okay, and discuss with your friends or family, of course, which part of the instrument vibrates to produce the sound. We learned it, right? The object moves, the vibration happens. This vibration causes the sound. It means something has to vibrate to create the sound, and these are musical instruments. They create sound of different variety, right? So some part of it, some part of this instruments should be moving to create the sound. And what are those? Identify those parts of these instruments. Okay, and that's a homework for you guys, just to help you guys to give a picture of it. Um, I'm listing few things here. Okay, refer to the virgase, the very famous, traditional, the folklore traditional dance which we find. There are three kinds of virgase there: Virabhadra Kunita, Purvantike, and Viragase. I'm just this is a Virabhadra photo of a the Virabhadra Kunita, but think like it is a Viragase also. The Viragase is a group dance. Here in the Viragase, Panchavadyaгаlu, it means 5 instruments are used. All 5 are used. Okay, the things Tala, Shruti, Chamala, Volga, Karade, they're all used in Viragase. Identify what are those, which of these instruments produces what kind of a sound. Okay, it's time for you to explore the culture also. Okay, and we can classify, sound instruments. Coming back to our regular class, classify into sound instruments or musical sound instruments into broadly into 4 types, sometimes 5, 4 times. Okay, string instruments, wind instruments, percussion instruments, and electronic instruments. So string instruments produce sound, okay, by the vibration of the strings. String is tanti. Okay, vibration of the strings that are plugged, bowed, or struck. Guitar, violin, sitar, these are some of the examples. For example, veena is there. We'll cover it later. Okay. Second one is wind instruments. Qualu, you know that, right? The why it's the sound is produced by the vibration of air in a tube or a reed. Flute, for example, clarinet, saxophone, oboe, they're all examples of wind instruments. Percussion instruments, okay, they produce sound by being struck or shaken or scrapped. Okay, drums, cymbals, xylophone, tambourine, these are all some of the examples of percussion instruments. And there's a new, these are the electronic instruments. There are a new variety after the invention of electricity, right? They produce sound by using electricity, synthesizers, or computers. Keyboard, electric guitar, theremin, and drum machine. These are all some of the examples of electronic instruments. These are some of the way to classify the instruments. And come back to our the traditional folklore culture, right? See, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು we can classify them into again 3 ತರ ವಿಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ನೋಡಿ, ತಂತಿ ವಾದ್ಯಗಳು, ಊದು ವಾದ್ಯಗಳು, ತಾಳವಾದ್ಯಗಳು. ತಂತಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್. ತಂತಿ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನುಡಿಸಿ ಎಳೆದು, ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ವೈಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡೋವಂಥ ವಾದ್ಯಗಳು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಜನಪದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಜನಪದ ತಂತಿ ವಾದ್ಯಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಇದ್ವು, ಈಗ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದಾವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಏಕತಾರಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ತಂಬೂರಿ, ಚೌಡಿಕೆ, ತುಂತುಣಿ, ಕಿನ್ನೂರಿ, ಕಾಮಾಕ್ಷಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ತಿದ್ದ ತಂತಿ ವಾದ್ಯಗಳು. ಊರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ನೋಡಿ, ತಂಬೂರಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ತಂಬೂರಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಉಳಿದವೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಚೌಡಿಕೆ ಪದಗಳು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ತಂತಿ ವಾದ್ಯಗಳು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ವೀಣೆ, ರಾವಣ ನುಡಿಸ್ತಾ, ಇಂಥದ್ದು ಸರಸ್ವತಿಯ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟೇ ವೀಣೆ. ಇದು ವೀಣೆ ಅಂತೂ ಭಾಳ ಫೇಮಸ್ಸು. ಸಿತಾರ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತಂತಿವಾದ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಊದು ವಾದ್ಯಗಳು ಅಂದರೆ ಪಿಪಿ ಉತ್ತೀವಲ್ವ, ಪಿಪಿ, ಸಡ್ಡೆ. ನೀವು ಮದುವೆ ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಸಡ್ಡೆ, ಓಲ್ಗ, ಶನಾಯಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಭಾಳ ಜನಪ್ರಿಯ ಹೆಸರುವಾಸಿ ಊದುವಾದ್ಯಗಳು. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ವಿಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ತಂತಿವಾದ್ಯಗಳು ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸು, ಊದುವಾದ್ಯಗಳು ವಿಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸು. ಕೊಳಲು ಸಹ ಅದೇನೆ, ಪಿಪಿನೂ ಅದೇನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಾಳವಾದ್ಯಗಳು ಪರ್ಕಷನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಬಡ್ದು, ಕೆರೆದು, ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ನೋಡಿ ವೀರ್ಗಾಸೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ತುಂಬ ಹೆಚ್ಚೇನೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 3-4 ನಮಗೆ ತಾಳವಾದ್ಯಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಡೊಳ್ಳು ಇದೆ ವೀರ್ಗಾಸನಲ್ಲಿ, ಚಮಳ ವೀರ್ಗಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಕರಡೆ ವೀರ್ಗಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ತಾಳ ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ವೀರ್ಗಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ತಬಲ ನೀವು ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕಲ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ. ಮದ್ದಳೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ತಬಳ, ಮದ್ದಳೆ, ಘಟ ಅಂದರೆ ಮಡಿಕೆ, ಮಡಿಕೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಮಡಿಕೆ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಕೆಲವು ಸೌಂಡ್, ಅದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟು. ಮೃದಂಗ, ಖಂಜರಿ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಜನಪದದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡಳಿತ ತುಂಬ ಬಳಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಈಸಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ. ತಾಬಲ ಅಂತೂ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಕಾಣುವ ತಂತಿವಾದ್ಯ, ಊದುವಾದ್ಯ, ತಾಳವಾದ್ಯಗಳು. Till now we learned the topic 1, the production of sound. In the next class, let's try to understand how this sound propagates, the propagation of sound. Thank you for your interest.